Hello everyone, welcome to Financial Reporting. My name is Sahel Abdul Rafiq and I will be your tutor for this course, just like every other course here. First off, let's understand what is our role in this paper and who are we. We are basically accountants in this paper who use IFRS rules, International Financial Reporting Standards, or the IAS. We commonly call it the IFRS rules. We record different transactions, and through that, we make the end financial statements for a single company or a combined version of a company. We'll use the technical terms a little later. So, we understood who are we in this paper. Now, what is prior connection or knowledge that you need for this paper, or what is the journey within ACCA to reach FR? If you have started ACCA all the way from beginning, that is the knowledge level, or if you were exempted from the initial papers, the first paper that has a connection with the FR is the financial accounting paper within the knowledge level. This gets connected to FR within the skill level, which you are going to learn now, and then it gets connected to the advanced level, the strategic business reporting within the professional level. Now, what we learned in FA paper is all the initial part of transaction. What is the importance of double entries? How does it work? How does it reach to a ledger? From there, how trial balance is made. And finally, it talks a brief about the cash flow statement, the financial statement as a whole, that is SOFP and SOPL, and a little brief into the consolidated statement as well. Where FA ends its syllabus is where FR starts it. That is entry into financial statements, learning all the extended accounting standards over here, then getting on to the complex financial statement for individual company and the combined company, which we call it as the consolidated financial statement and the cash flow statement. This is where the entire FR syllabus lies around. So, first part of this learning would be getting a hold on the different accounting standards that we have. Let's call it like the alphabets. So we learn all the accounting standards for major part of the syllabus. Once we get all the alphabets in hand, then we make it into one whole paragraph, or let's call it one whole chapter. That whole chapter that we bring all this into is called as the individual financial statement. So when we say individual financial statement, we learn how to make the SOFP, that is the balance sheet. We learn how to make the SOPL, that is the income statement. We learn how to make the cash flow statement, SOCF. We learn how changes in equity works and all that around the individual company. Once we learn this, then we combine into a whole book. That is, we combine multiple chapters together and create a book. And let's call that the consolidated financial statement. So that is like a group financial statement where we learn how it works for a consolidated SOFP, and we learn how it works for a consolidated SOPL. So this is our entire major part of the learning that will happen throughout the syllabus. Now, all that we told so far is with regards to numbers, that is how these are accounted for. Finally, we will learn how to read these numbers and analyze it beyond the numbers, that is reading beyond these numbers and what story it has to convey from companies. That is called analysis. So we will learn how to analyze individual companies and also how to analyze the consolidated financial statement. That will be the last part, analyze. That is, if you split this entire syllabus, it is three parts. Number one, you learn the alphabets accounting standards. Number two, you learn how to prepare individual financial statement and consolidated financial statement. Number three, you learn how to analyze individual financial statement and consolidated financial statement. Now, how these are going to be tested within your exam? That is the most important part that you need to be aware of, the question paper pattern. Your entire FR exam is split into three sections. You have section A, section B, section C. Section A will have 15 questions. Each questions will be independent of each other. It could be MCQs, match the following, true or false, fill in the blanks, anything it could be. But each question is worth 2 marks. You either score 2 marks or you don't get anything. So there is no partial marking over here, and this will in total be 30 marks. Any syllabus area can be tested over here. Section B will have 3 case studies. Each case will have 5 questions. So 5 questions will probably be independent of each other, but then it will all be connected to that particular case study from which it is coming. So 5 questions in each. Each questions will be again of 2 marks. Same like your section A model, it could be MCQs, match the following, true or false, fill in the blanks, anything it could be. And each case study will be worth 10 marks. As told earlier, here also it's either you score 2 marks or you don't score anything. So there is no partial marking over here. Any syllabus area can be tested over here. Finally, we have section C where there are two cases. First case is worth 20 marks, second case is worth 20 marks. Here it is not MCQs, rather it is constructed response question. So you have to construct your answer over here. So these are like long answers. Now the question will be one around the preparation area and the second one around the analysis area. So you're either preparing individual financial statement or consolidated financial statement in one question, and the other question will be to analyze another individual financial statement or a consolidated financial statement. So this is how your entire question paper would look like. And altogether you have 3 hours to crack this exam. No extra time, no optional questions, nothing. All the 32 questions over here, that is 15 over here, 15 over here, 2 over here. So all 32 questions are mandatory to attempt, and out of 100 you need to score 50 marks to pass. And you know the rule, there are people who pass at 50, there are people who pass at 51, and there is a lot of people who pass at 49 as well, which means every mark is very crucial in this exam. Not only in this exam, every ACC exam. So how we are going to learn this particular topic as combined with the earlier topic, we're going to learn the accounting standards. Before making the individual financial statement throughout the lectures, we are going to practice questions as well, where how these accounting standards will be used to crack section A questions, section B questions. So we know individually how these are applied onto different scenarios, or let's say different transaction that would happen in a company. Once we are done with all the accounting standards, we will have a good grip around the section A and B questions. So we are good with the accounting standard, and a lot of questions have been practiced. The next area that we are going to create or learn is how to prepare the individual statements, how to prepare the consolidated financial statement. Then we will practice questions around that. We will learn the rules around that. Once we get a grip on that, then we will move on to the next part. That is the analysis part. We learn how to analyze an individual financial statement. We learn how to analyze a consolidated financial statement. So with this, we will be done with all the practice and the learning for all the different sections and the syllabus area as well. Finally, we will apply all this into certain mock scenarios where we will be trying some question papers in whole. That is, we will complete the entire section A, B, and C and see how to work out time management, how to work out questions, how to apply certain tricks in order to solve the answers, how to get through situations if in case we get stuck. Because definitely in the exam hall you are going to get stuck with questions. You will not be knowing how to go about certain situations, because if you know everything you'll be scoring 100 out of 100, and that's very rare situation. So you will definitely not be knowing a lot of things. How to get through these things, how to manage your time, how to manage your situations when you panic in the exam, all this we will be discussing when we practice question papers in the end. So this is how our entire learning system would be like throughout your syllabus for FR. Finally, just sharing my personal experience with how it was for me practicing FR or studying FR. Now, for me, FR was my very first ACC exam because I was exempted from a couple of papers due to my degree. So, FR was my very first paper. Now, when I went for this paper, and most of you all know that I come from a science background, I have no clue about what a debit means, what a credit means. I don't know what's a balance sheet, I don't know what's an income statement. So, FR was pretty much a nightmare for me personally because I didn't know any basics, and secondly, I was not getting a grasp of any of this initially. So because I was not getting a grasp, I automatically started hating the subject. All right. So because I hated the subject, I was not very keen into preparation. And all throughout my life as a student, I was this person who only studies one day before the exam or maximum 2 days before the exam. So studying for a month or 2 months or 3 months was out of concept for me because I was never used to it or never even tried it. So the very first time I studied for a subject, for one subject, not even multiple subjects, just one subject for a very long time, that was for FR. And how long did I study? I studied only for 1 month. So the total study time was just 30 days. Or maybe you can just round it off 30 to 33 days, let's say. This was the whole study time that I had. Out of this, there's a lot of initial phase where I never understood what's going on. Throughout the syllabus time, after the like almost close to the exam, there was a lot of portion that was pending for me as well. All right. But I was aware of certain things. That is, I was aware of what are the key concepts that will come in the exam. I was aware of what is the question paper pattern. I was aware of the trend of questions being asked. I was aware of how to smart learn these topics through different other sources that I had. So I understood how to learn this, but I was not very keen on this. So, first thing to focus, I studied only for 30 days. Second thing, I didn't finish the syllabus. That means we have this usual concept of studying where we need to go through the entire study text at least once. We have to do the exam kit maybe twice and practice maybe 3 to 4 mock papers. Only then we can somewhere assure a pass. So I was also used to listening to this from other people who were doing ACCA back during when I was doing it. So I thought, okay, let's try doing this. But when this 30 days was over, what was my progress? I didn't finish the study text. Forget finishing the study text. I didn't touch the study text because I didn't have time. Exam kit. I did not complete it even once. Probably three-fourth I completed once. But then that too, it's not like I studied and finished it or anything. I did the questions, I made mistakes, I looked at the solution at the back and learned how to do it. So, like that, I finished three-fourth of the question. I mean, three-fourth of the exam kit, which means I didn't do anything myself over there. Mock papers. I thought, okay, doing mock papers would boost my confidence. So, after doing couple of accounting standards and things and all, I decided to do only section A and B of the mock paper just to see how well I am performing, because I know that section C is a different kind of question. I didn't anyways learn it. So let's try section A and B and see how it is going to work out. So after the accounting standards, I tried one mock paper where I did section A and B. So that means out of the entire question paper, that is 60 marks. Out of 60 marks, I scored merely, I don't remember exactly, but that was just 5 to 10 marks. So that drastically brought down my confidence. And I decided that from here on, I'm not going to do any mock papers because this is not my game, because my learning was never over till the last day. So there's no point in me going and attempting a mock because I will definitely fail it. So I decided I'm not going to do any mock from here on. So the only thing that I did was, one day before the exam, I took a mock question paper, read through the question, took the solution, read through the answer, and kept it over there. Why? Just to see that how a question would look like, how an answer would look like, and just wind it up. That's it. So this was how my preparation looked like. So you can see that how under prepared and under confident that I would be with that particular FR exam. But what happened was, I scored somewhere around 60s in this particular exam. So what I learned out of this particular journey was that it's not mandatory that you need to cover the entire study text. It's not mandatory that you have to finish the entire exam kit. It's not mandatory that you have to do a lot of mock papers. It is only mandatory that whatever you know, you should be confident with that topic. Whatever topics you have learned, you should be thorough with it, such that any question that comes in front of you, you should be able to understand what is written over there and how to, decode the information from that so that you can apply the accounting standards over there and completely solve it. So that is the only thing that you need to know with any ACC exams. And much more importantly, you need to be aware of the trend and patterns that are going to be tested in the exam so that you be well prepared for it. Because out of this thing, what I didn't exactly mention, one thing was, I prepared really well for my section C questions. Out of the three-fourth that I told for exam kit, most of the questions I prepared from section C because I know what kind of questions are going to come there. So I prepared myself really well, went for the exam, and scored really well in section C as well. So that is how probably I passed, because section A and B, I was not very thorough with it. So I would not have scored really well over there. So this is my overall journey with FR. Now coming on to your journey with me for FR. I'll definitely make sure that things are going to go really smooth for you, really interesting for you, rather than how I hated FR because I never got a grasp over the concept, or how I never understood what these accounting things meant. You will not have to face these things because I will definitely make these things very clear for you in a fun, related way with a lot of real life examples that's going to be very connectable to you. Sometimes these real life examples I use will be very exaggerated as well, such that it stays in your head for a lifetime. So this is how our FR learning is going to be from here on. So hope this introduction made it very clear about what FR paper is, what your role is in this paper, what are we going to learn in this paper, and how was my personal experience, a backbencher's personal experience who cleared FR in the first attempt, so that this gives you enough confidence and boost such that your preparation, if in case you give that 100% effort and from my support, you are going to pretty well access beyond all this. You're going to score marks that are going to be way beyond what I scored. So that is all with this introduction part. Once you join in, once you're going through the lectures, make sure to shoot me up with a lot of mind blasting doubts, because I'm waiting for it. All the challenging questions that can put me also at a question mark where I start thinking, okay, how do I solve this? So I need that kind of questions from you where you confuse me as well. So let's all together start with the FR journey. See you soon at the lectures. Once again, welcome to financial reporting and welcome to Atomic ACCA. See you in the next lecture.